How can we best ensure that university courses include sustainability education so that students graduate prepared to make a positive impact in terms of the Sustainable Development Goals?
Thanks, Gash. Well, good morning, everyone. I think it's appropriate for me to say welcome to GIBS. We're really happy to have you in our space. It's lovely to look out there. It's awesome for me to see the SDGs all over the place. Nice and brightly coloured. You can't miss them. So, to be honest, our Dean, Morris Mtombeni, is the one who should be answering this question, but I'm 25, almost 30 years in business, and now I've shifted into academia. So I'm giving you a perspective of what I've seen in the past year. And one of the reasons I left corporate was because I got tired. I got really, really tired of constantly having to fight for this space and explain it and defend it. And somehow I was deluded into thinking that I was going into academia and everyone would get me. Like this was just everyone, you know, the youth, the young people, the business leaders, everyone was really going to understand why the UN SDGs are so important. And unfortunately, that's not what I discovered when I arrived. And it's not what I've seen from my engagement with universities around the world. So there's a lot of work to be done around integrating sustainability into every discipline in universities. You know, if I just think of your general, disciplines, economics, the global architecture around economics has to change. Just chasing after GDP has not succeeded in reducing inequalities. So just following growth is not an option. So economic faculties need to rethink their content. Finance, the financial architecture is not working. The IMF is under criticism because of the financial architecture, is not channeling capital to where it needs to be. I could go through them all, but marketing, there's so much work to be done. And yet what you're finding is that sustainability gets put in a box, and there's a team on the side that are focusing on it, one or two people, and you might throw in one or two electives that have a sustainability or a climate angle. And this is universities around the world. This is not unique to GIBS or South Africa. And for me, that is what needs to change. It needs to be fully integrated across all areas. Everyone needs to live this. And that goes across all education institutions as well.
To what extent can academic institutions encourage more robust partnerships between business, non-profits, the state, and propel development and execution of environmentally friendly solutions?
I think it covers all areas of sustainability and not just environmental and climate. But I think this event is a great example. GIBS is a neutral ground. It's a safe space that all these different players can come into and voice their opinions, share their ideas, get that true sense of I'm being heard, which often doesn't happen in other spaces. I think the other advantage that academic institutions have is they've got a lot of really young, bright minds who are really eager, but more importantly, they really care about this stuff. They really care, they do. It's deep for them. It's not something they've woken up to late in life. So you've got this eagerness that's, they're just ready for you to tap into and use, be it on the data side, be it on the research side. So I think that's one really awesome area. And I think the other one, for me, the difficulty is the execution part of your question, because it's great to come together and have these discussions, but when we leave the room, where's the list of actions? Where's the list of to-do? Who's taking responsibility for making something actually happen? And I think that's where it's a little harder, because everyone almost needs to make their own to-do list, and then there's got to be some kind of accountability.
Apart from working in the hallowed halls of academia, you've also worked with communities. What is the one takeaway working with communities for us to be able to try to achieve those goals?
So we've spoken quite a bit about SDG 4 and education being so important. And for me, one of my biggest takeaways was learning in the Bushbuck Ridge community, which is adjacent to the Kruger Park, that it's all very well to focus on education and digital access, but the majority of that population don't even have access to water. So SDG 6, it doesn't exist. So if we don't focus on that first, we can't do anything else. Food, they don't have access to food, they don't have access to energy. And there's so many other SDGs that are almost the cornerstone to be able to, allow the others to flourish. Morris likes to talk about the climate being the sharp end of the spear. And for me, I really believe that community-led initiatives need to ensure the basics are there, so water, energy, etc. But then they need to become social enterprises. They cannot continue, they're not sustainable on their own, when it's continually this philanthropy or donor giving. The model we have to find and we have to get right is turning community initiatives into social enterprises, and that'll give proper social upliftment.